This is WAB's Week in Review, the show where we look back the last few days of stories from your WAB News team. I'm Alex Helmick, managing editor of WAB News. And we start with the passing of the man who changed media as well as Atlanta sports, among many other things. Ted Turner, the creator of CNN, an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and environmentalist, died this week. He began his business career as a billboard salesman and eventually revolutionized how the world consumed news. As WAB's Molly Samuel reported, Turner was a consummate salesman who also wanted to eliminate nuclear weapons.
Ted Turner's father had served in the military and was an entrepreneur. Turner said he was inspired by him beginning at a young age. He wanted to do something with his life, as he told the Television Academy in a 1999 interview.
I chose to try and concentrate and be really good at something. And first it was racing boats.
Turner, who grew up in Savannah, said he chose sailing because he thought it was something he could excel at, even without natural athleticism.
The things I had, which was tenacity and the ability to stick with it, and intelligence, were things that was a premium on those qualities.
He went on to win the America's Cup in 1977 and also won a harrowing ocean race in 1979, in which he and his crew had been feared dead after hitting terrible weather. Turner's tenacity and belief in himself and the inspiration he took from his father were recurring themes in his life. His father died when he was in his early 20s. Turner took over the family billboard business, and eventually he bought radio and TV stations, including Channel 17 in Atlanta. Bill Tush was an early hire there.
It was just this place that had this vibe about it, that something was happening there. We never knew what it was, but it was always good.
Turner took advantage of new cable and satellite technology to turn the fly-by-night operation into the nationwide TBS superstation. Tush went on to work as an anchor there and at CNN.
You know, Ted's big line was always, "You don't work for me, you work with me." And I remember calling him the boss one time, and he's like, "I'm not the boss." He says, "You know, we all work, we're all in this together." From the top down, it was just fun. That's the only way to put it.
TBS broadcast TV reruns and movies, and Braves games, before Turner even owned the team. He figured that in places where there was no baseball team, people would tune in.
My idea was to make Braves fans out of those people because they had the games.
He told the Television Academy, even if viewers didn't care for the not very good Braves, at least sometimes the team would be playing someone good that people would tune in to see. Bob Hope was a marketing executive for the Braves at the time.
I remember the first meeting when he first signed the contract. He stood up on a coffee table and started waving his arms and singing, "You Gotta Have Heart" from Damn Yankees Broadway show. And I thought, whoa, this guy's different. But, a lot of what he said was very wise.
Turner bought the team in 1976. Hope says Turner wasn't much motivated by a love of baseball. Instead, he saw it as a way to secure his rights to air the games on TBS. Hope says he and Turner would come up with stunts. Turner pushed a baseball around the bases with his nose, and he and Jane Fonda, both each other's third spouses, were regulars at games.
And he had his own uniform, his own locker. He'd go in and he'd take showers with the team. There was a lot of craziness involved, but he enjoyed it. I mean, he was there, and he enjoyed the attention. Ted is like a carnival barker.
Hope says it was a reflection of Turner's upbeat, zany personality. It was also a reflection of his drive as a salesman to attract attention to himself and his businesses. That's what spurred his creation of CNN, too. He said he didn't watch TV news himself, but he told the Television Academy he thought a 24-hour news channel would do well and help get more people to sign up for cable.
I knew that all news radio had worked, so all news television was going to work. You'd have to be a genius to figure that out.
CNN changed news. Before it, TV news was generally a 30-minute program, not live all day and all night. CNN went on the air in 1980, and it struggled at first. Turner said ad executives laughed at him. But that changed in 1991, when reporters for CNN broadcast live from Baghdad as the U.S. started bombing at the beginning of the Iraq War. In an interview with Christiane Amanpour on CNN in 2015, Turner responded to criticism that CNN wasn't patriotic enough in its coverage of the war or on other topics.
We weren't anti-American. We were just pro-truth.
Turner also founded Headline News, TNT, the Cartoon Network, and Turner Classic Movies. He was eventually pushed out of his cable empire after mergers with Time Warner and AOL. He owned the Braves during their first World Series win in Atlanta in 1995. He also owned the Hawks. His chain of restaurants, Ted's Montana Grill, serves bison to diners around the country. And he was a major philanthropist. In a 2010 interview with the Council on Foreign Relations, Turner said he believed CEOs have a responsibility beyond just generating wealth.
We have numerous debts. We have debts to education, because education, without it, we wouldn't be where we are. And we have debts to our government and to society as a whole.
Turner gave $1 billion to the UN, creating the UN Foundation in 1998. He started the Nuclear Threat Initiative with former Georgia Senator Sam Nunn. The organization seeks to reduce nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction. And a lifelong nature lover, he was an active environmentalist. As one of the biggest landowners in the country, he restored millions of acres of land for hunting, fishing, and wildlife. Turner told the Council on Foreign Relations that his philanthropic and environmental work was inspired by his dad, too.
He suggested to me that I should set my goals so high that I couldn't possibly achieve them in my lifetime, so I'd always have something to look forward to. And I did that.
He told the audience he was trying to rid the world of nuclear weapons, to encourage people to get serious about climate change, and to eliminate poverty.
And I'm over my head. But happily so.
In 2015, Turner told Amanpour of all his achievements, he was proudest of his family. Molly Samuel, WABE News.
Ted Turner is survived by 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. He was 87 years old. You can get more on Ted Turner at our website, wabe.org. Well, one of the few black teachers ever hired by a South Georgia school district claims she was the victim of racial harassment. An appellate case is shedding light on the alleged behavior by school officials. As WABE's Shemaine Cruz told us, the now former teacher hopes her legal battle will help bring about long overdue change.
Lana Foster is sitting near a hotel lobby. She's wearing her crochet locks in a half updo, a navy blue suit, and a pearl necklace. The 65-year-old retiree's name isn't as well known as Ruby Bridges, but she also helped desegregate her school as a young black girl in Eccles County on the Florida border.
My mom and my dad, they made sure that we always did what we were supposed to, and we participated in everything.
She became a teacher like her mom, and that's when she says she began to be unfairly treated. After more than 2 decades with the district, she says she was stripped of her club leadership duties and moved from her usual teaching position to what she calls a less desirable alternative school position.
It was a dumping ground. So if they didn't want somebody, that's where they put them.
Then things got worse, at least according to Foster, who says that her white colleagues were told they'd be terminated if they associated with her.
And I fought because I did not want anybody else treated the way that I was treated. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
One of the most terrorizing acts for Foster occurred after her husband ran for a seat on the Eccles County Board of Education. She says they received a makeshift grave with a headstone that read,
"Here lies James and Lana Foster." And then they had a watermelon with a black face on there.
Foster called the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. She says they did follow up, but no one was held accountable.
I was afraid for my life as well as my kids. Because they were still in school at that time.
Court documents show that during Foster's 34-year tenure, the district settled at least 3 complaints with her and others relating to racially discriminatory practices, but they improved nothing. Later in 2018, Foster was fired for good, and she sued, helping uncover text messages from school board members allegedly using racial slurs and comparing black children to animals. The district settled again. But
it's been almost 7 years, and they still don't have and have not hired a minority or a black there at Eccles County. they're just not doing it.
Foster's settlement agreement with the district required it to change its hiring practices and create a new recruitment plan. But Foster says she's received no proof of the district even trying to recruit more teachers of color from Valdosta or other nearby universities. That's despite federal data showing that minority students make up more than half of Eccles County schools.
Our kids, no matter what the race is, they need to see some of their own in the school system. And we do have a lot of professionals of all races that can help our kids, and they deserve that.
In March, a federal appeals court rejected the qualified immunity defense of Eccles Superintendent Vincent Ham and 6 other current and former school officials. That's after finding that they were refusing to comply with Foster's settlement agreement because of their, quote, deep-seated racial animus toward her. And as a result, Foster's new racial discrimination lawsuit is being allowed to move forward. None of the defendants nor their lawyers responded to requests for comment, but Foster shared her reaction while getting ready to judge the state spelling bee in Atlanta earlier this year.
I wasn't worried because when this started years ago, I asked God, I said, what would you have me to do? And he said, fight.
Her legal win comes as the Trump administration has sought to purge diversity initiatives from public schools and other sectors. Foster's attorney says her case shows why lawful DEI is still desperately needed. Shemaine Cruz, WABE News.
You're listening to WAB's Week in Review with me, Alex Helmick. The United States Soccer Federation officially opened its new home just south of Atlanta. As WAB's Marlon Hyde reported, the campus opens a few weeks before the men's national team arrives to prepare for the FIFA World Cup held in several spots across North America, including Atlanta.
Visitors of all ages toured the new Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center during the opening ceremony in Fayetteville, Georgia. The $250 million facility has more than a dozen full pitches and serves as the new HQ of the Sports Federation. Cindy Parlow-Cohn is U.S. Soccer's president.
A lot of people look at this and they think it's just for our 27 national teams. That couldn't be further from the truth. This is for everyone in our soccer community.
The men's national team will arrive ahead of the World Cup, which starts next month. It is being played across 16 host cities in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Atlanta is hosting 8 matches, including a semifinal. Marlon Hyde, WABE News.
Well, a tapestry, handmade by Atlanta Stitchers, is on its way to Virginia to join an exhibition commemorating America's 250th anniversary. As WABE's Melissa Fato told us, the original 13 colonies contributed one each, depicting an important moment in its history.
On a rainy morning at the Atlanta History Center, 6 embroiderers put the final stitches in George's panel. It portrays the Chasseurs Volontaires de Saint-Domingue, a Haitian militia unit that fought in the Battle of Savannah in 1779. The over 500 men were the largest group of black soldiers to participate in the American Revolution. In deep blue, cream, brown, and green, the tapestry depicts a dynamic scene. Robin Starnes is with the Dogwood chapter of the Embroiderers Guild of America.
I've been embroidering since 1980, so it's been a long time.
She and a handful of other women spent more than 1,000 hours over 13 months creating the tapestry. Even these experienced stitchers had to learn new skills to complete it.
On this one, I did the uniforms, so I learned a lot about applique.
And they did most of it in public, in the History Center's atrium. Timothy Frelingos is director of exhibitions.
And it's really been great to see them interact with our visitors, answer questions for young and old that are coming through and wanting to talk to them about the piece.
Starnes says her group is doing more projects like this in public because
it's a dying art, and we're seeing that a lot. We have aging people in our group, and so we're trying to get younger people in.
The American Tapestry Project makes its first stop at the College of William and Mary next month. Frelingos says he hopes to welcome Georgia's tapestry back with its counterparts sometime in the next few years. Melissa Fato, WABE News.
And finally today, the North Atlantic right whales had their most successful calving season in more than 15 years. They give birth off Georgia's coast each winter. WAB's Emily Jones had more.
Scientists spotted 23 right whale calves swimming with their moms this season, the most since 2009. There are only about 380 right whales still alive, so every new baby is considered critical to keeping the species from extinction. But Amy Warren with the New England Aquarium says calves aren't the whole story.
Having 23 calves is excellent, but we hope that all of these 23 calves can make it through the first year and then, into adulthood.
It's not uncommon for calves and adult whales alike to be killed, mostly by boat strikes or entanglements in fishing gear. In 2024, a quarter of the season's calves died. This season, an adult whale tangled in fishing gear died despite efforts to free it. Warren says continued or improved protections for right whales are essential.
We're one more bad year away from a number they can't rebound from.
Changes to federal fishing rules designed to protect right whales are on hold until 2028. A proposal now in Congress would extend that to 2035. Emily Jones, WABE News.
My thanks to the WABE News team for all the great work, including our Atlanta Press Club Award winners. I'm Alex Helmick. Thank you for supporting WABE News and listening to The Week in Review.